I had just recently finished playing The Last of Us. It was a great game and even a better experience. Once I started playing it again, I knew I wanted to make a video about it. My first idea was to talk about the horror of the start of the outbreak, and I still might make that video, but I don't know right now. But after beating The Last of Us, I knew what I had to talk about. The glitches and stuff I had to deal with to beat this game. When I first got the game a few years ago, I had just got my PS3, and all I wanted to do was play the masterpiece that was The Last of Us. At the beginning, the game worked great. Then I got to the cutscene where you meet up with Marlene, and you get underneath the bridge, and the characters get stuck in a T-pose. At the beginning, it was hilarious because they have to push down this thing, and they just like walk over to it, and it falls down, and they don't walk when they're doing these T-poses; they like hop. So it's beautiful. Anyways, then the game would crash. So not so funny now, is it? Cut to 1 week ago. I decide to try it again. I boot up the game. I'm like, all right, let's beat it. Same thing happens. I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to take this lying down. I have to beat this game because I love games that have story, and this game is like renowned for that. So I'm like, I have to beat this. So I get this game and I go back to my house. I boot it up and I play the first few levels. It is working great, right? I am a happy man. Then I get to Bill's level, and it glitches out so badly. It is just very cancerous. The cutscenes, what they would do is the audio would play, and then the cutscene would like render in like 10 FPS, but it was like 1 frame per millisecond, and then sometimes it would do these jump cuts where it would just like cut to this action. It was not good, but it was playable, and that's all I cared about. And I was like, okay, I can bring up the, they make those, how people on YouTube, they take all the cutscenes and then they're like, The Last of Us full movie official. So I had one of those pulled up, and I was like, all right, let's do this. Anyways, so I get through it, and then at the end of Bill's level, everything starts to go fine. All the other cutscenes are working great. I'm a happy person. Then comes the killer. 94% completed. All right, that is, I can taste it. I am the precipice of beating what many call just like, I don't know what they call it. It's just a great game, something you gotta play it. Oh, bro, you PC? You play PC, or you must get PS3. So 94% completion. I'm right about to beat this. And there's a part where you have to put Ellie, you shove her into this area, and there's like a clicker on the ground, and he's like, oh, he's dead, and then he attacks her, and then you have to save her, and whoop-de-doo. What would happen though is when I boost her up, typically he says, all right, up, come on. But for me, this time, his mouth would move and he wouldn't say anything, which I was like, okay, this is bad, but it's still tolerable. Like, I can deal with this, kind of. Anyways, so then I take the 10 minutes to loot everything. And then I go to the door where you get to leave. The entire thing is just blank. I think there's a video up on screen right now of it. There's like a singular ladder, and everything else is just like white, like it's like a void. And this happened to me 5 or 6 times, and what I would have to do is I would take out the game, go into the game save. It wasn't my own saves, it was the stuff for the game, and I would have to delete 1.1 and then re-download that update. I had to do this a few times. I had to do that so many times. It was so repetitive and so bad. It took so long to do. Eventually, though, I did it, and I am at the hospital. I am ready. I am so close. I kill all the people. I save Ellie. I get there. I'm ready. Alright? I am so ready for this to be done. I am like, please let me get back to my PC. And then I get in the elevator with her. Goes down. He steps out. And it just cuts to black. I can hear crickets. And that's what happens in these cutscenes when there's no audio. Is when it would all stop working, the crickets, for whatever reason, would continue to crick. Which was... it was like a bad comedy act, So that would happen, and it was bad. I got really mad. So I did the same thing, and I did it again, and I did it like 3 times on that disc, and like with the same disc, and it continued to not work. So I was like, all right, let's put in the other disc. Keep in mind, this other disc I got a few years ago, this was the one that doesn't let you play the first part because they all get stuck in that T-pose, and it didn't work. So then I delete the stuff, and then I go back to playing on the disc, or on the first disc I ever got, and it finally works. I am overjoyed with happiness, and I beat it. I was just melancholy. I wasn't happy. I was just like, well, that happened. It was a very personal journey, to say the least. Okay. Point is, I got this game. I bought it. I should be able to play it, right? But I have to jump through all these I swear to God, I was like playing like something meta. Like it was like a mini game, you know? Like, you know, one of those hacker games where you play in like Deus Ex or in Prey. You also play a hacking game. So that about wraps up my thoughts on The Last of Us with these glitches and stuff. Overall, I enjoyed my experience with it, but the glitches just killed a lot of the enjoyment I got out of it. Although I must say, I felt a good amount of accomplishment for just overcoming those glitches and stuff like that. Anyways, that is it. That's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next video.